Who are the top UFC pound for pound male fighters? Well, guys, today we're going to be working that out. I've got fighters all over the screen and I'm going to drag and drop them into where I think they belong on this list. Obviously, number one pound for pound, just like in the UFC, is who I think is the greatest fighter currently. But I'm just redoing this because honestly, I looked at the UFC one and obviously it's voted for by MMA media journalists, and you can really tell because there's a lot of bias. There's a lot of random people on that list that I really don't think belong on the top 15 pound for pound fighters. So I've changed some around, I've added some new fighters, and I've removed some of the guys that I don't think belong on that list. So without further ado, let's get into this list. I'm MMA Tizzer. Subscribe if you're new. I do content and live streams like this every single day. And yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Let's get into this. So number 15 and number 14, we're just going to start with them. For number 15, I have none other than Yuri Prohaska. So I'm going to put Yuri there because Yuri obviously was the light heavyweight champion. He defeated Glover Teixeira, having a great run in the UFC. All finishes as far as I'm aware. And he looked great. Is his striking kind of weird? Yes. But the reason he's not higher on this list is because he has to vacate his belt because unfortunately he sustained a really nasty shoulder injury apparently. But it does seem he's going to be coming back very soon. I presume he is going to be fighting before the end of the year, and I presume he will be fighting Jamal Hill for the title. It seems to make sense to me because he never really lost a fight to lose the belt. But that's why he's at the bottom here. Never really got a chance to prove himself as champion. So we're just basically running off the fact that this guy currently has 0 title defenses. But and obviously he isn't the champion anymore. But respect to him for vacating, to be fair, and that's why he's on this list. If he gets the win over Jamal, he will obviously shoot up this list. But he's there for now. We move on. Number 14, Robert Whittaker. So when it comes to middleweight, for the last 5 years, last 4 years or so, two people have ran it. Robert Whittaker and Israel Adesanya. And basically, those guys are the two most skilled middleweights. They have been for the last 4 years, and they still are. And obviously, Whittaker is not the champion. He's lost twice to Adesanya. And it seems a trilogy is imminent if he beats Dricus du Plessis. But yeah, so that's why he's here. Because honestly, if Israel wasn't champion, Robert would have been champion for the last 6 years running. You know what I mean? This guy would have been one of the longest champions in UFC because these are the only very, very skilled guys in middleweight. The rest of them are a bunch of absolute cans for the most part. And yeah, amazing fighter. If Israel wasn't there, he'd be champ. We move on. Number 13, Merab Dvalishvili. Well, it doesn't seem like this guy's going to become bantamweight champ anytime soon, guys. So he won't be going up this list because he doesn't want to fight Aljo, which is a shame because honestly, I think he'd beat Aljo. But this guy's been on an incredible run. He's 31 now, I think. But geez, this guy's cardio, he's a machine. He just non-stop pressure in his fights. So he recently beat Peter Yan. He 5-0'd him. He won every single round against Peter Yan, which is exceptionally rare. Absolutely destroyed him, kind of. Was it kind of a boring fight? Yeah, but we're not talking about that today. We're talking about where he belongs in the pound for pound. And he belongs here because cleared out a lot of very high skilled bantamweights, and yeah, that's why he's here. Should fight Aljo. I know he won't, but he should because in my opinion, he'd probably win. We move on to our first heavyweight on this list. We have none other than the Russian powerhouse Sergey Pavlovich. This guy is basically, he's probably going to be the next UFC heavyweight champ, right? Okay, after John Jones retires, because we know he's getting old, 35 now. Probably doesn't want to be doing this much longer. He's got a lot of money to lay back and chill on. But I really see this guy being the next heavyweight champ. And obviously, he's got 5 first round knockouts in a row. So I have to put him on this list. He's just been clearing out the heavyweight division. Obviously, it's maybe not as skilled as the other divisions, which is why he's not so high up. Because obviously, if you were clearing out bantamweight with 5 KOs in a row, you'd be much higher on the list. But impressive, good striking. Basically, Russian Ngannou with better boxing. And 5 KOs in heavyweight against top contenders gets you on this list. And good performances too. We move on. Number 11. Yair Rodriguez. So this guy's the featherweight interim champ. So he on a technicality he is a champ. I wouldn't really consider it a belt, and I don't think he does either. But who cares? He's got the next title shot against Volkanovski, and featherweight's a very stacked division. And just because he has that title, the interim belt, if you will, he's higher than some of these guys. And amazing fighter. He has a good chance of beating Volk. I think he has the best out of any featherweight currently. but I don't know if he will beat him. That is not a prediction that he will beat him. Great kicking, good on the ground, can threaten submissions, lanky, hard to hit, and just a very, very dangerous opponent. Now, if I had to sum up Yair Rodriguez in one word, it would be dangerous. We move on. Number 10 on this list, none other than the light heavyweight champion, Jamal Hill. Do I think Jamal Hill is the best light heavyweight? Absolutely not. That is why he is not higher on this list. He has no defenses and he's been champion for about 6 months now. I don't know what he's doing. He must be waiting for the Erie fight. But yeah, I just don't think he's that good compared to the other champions. I think he's probably one of the worst champions. Really not impressive for me. Very one-dimensional. I think he's obviously just primarily a boxer. His striking's alright. It's pretty good for light heavyweight. Got a bit of power, but he hasn't proven himself yet. So he needs to go out and get a few more defenses before he can become any higher in this list. And obviously, if he knocks people out, that's just going to make him look even better, and he can skyrocket up the list. But he's here for now, unproven as a champion. Go and get some defenses, Jamal, and then yeah, fair play to you. You'll be higher up on this list. But we move on to number 9, Alex Pereira. Now, obviously, I know this guy's just been knocked out cold, but we got to remember he is still an absolutely lethal competitor. Um, he's the only man to KO Adesanya inside the UFC, and I'm not surprised because this guy is something special. He's got insane striking. He's got good cardio. I think his cardio is underrated, to be honest. Very, very high level kickboxing. So yeah, that's why he's here. Beating Adesanya in the UFC does get you a lot of credibility because obviously Robert Whittaker could never do that yet. Only Jan Blachowicz did it, but it was upper weight class, so we're kind of not really counting that for now. And yeah, that's why he's here. Obviously, just was the champion, just lost his belt in the last 2 months or so, and he's looking to get right back in there against Jan Blachowicz. So he's active and he's remaining here. If he loses against Jan, he'll probably leave the rankings, but for now, he stays. We move on. Brandon Moreno, the flyweight champion. He's been looking sharp, but the only reason he's not any higher is because he's lost his belt. I think is it twice now he's lost his belt, or is it once? I think he's lost his belt once already from Davison, but then he won it back. So yeah, fair play to him. He's pretty good. He's just a good all rounder, isn't he? He's got good wrestling. He's got good jiu-jitsu, very good cardio, solid, kind of solid chin. Does get dropped a bit, but Davison has got a lot of power for a flyweight because he's a weight bully, and pretty good striking too. He put Kai Kara-France away, so he's got a defense as well that isn't just Davison. So yeah, that's why he's here. But keep doing what you're doing at flyweight, and you'll be up there in no time. We move on. Number 7, Charles Oliveira. So I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, why am I putting him so high up? Well, he's not even champion. Well, I thought about it. This guy is like one in what he's got 10 in. He's 10-1 in his last 11 fights. Okay, so that just shows you how good he is. A lot of them are finishes. This guy goes for the finish. Ultra impressive. Recently just knocked out Benil Dariush. And yeah, that's why he's here. He's probably going to get a rematch of Islam Makhachev. And I mean, he's got no other opponent, so he may as well do that. And that is why he's there. Very, very legit. Long winning streak at lightweight, which is very rare. Only a few in history. And he is one of them, so that's why he's there. And yeah, Charlie Olives. We move on. Israel Adesanya. He would be higher, but he did get knocked out by Alex Pereira, so that knocked him down a few rankings. I know he's got his belt back now, but Alex Pereira was doing well, and also he was doing well in the last fight as well, which shows that the striking on the feet, the difference is it's not too great. They're pretty similar on the feet. But yeah, that's why he's there. He definitely would have been in the top 3 until he got knocked out by Pereira, so that changed things. Obviously, just showed that he isn't unbeatable at middleweight. And yeah, that's Israel Adesanya. I don't really have much else to say. We all know who he is. He's the king of the middleweights. And the only person I see beating him at middleweight is Robert Whittaker, and I don't even know if he'll be able to do that. So he's there. Once he gets another defense, we'll put him higher again. But he's only just got his belt back. We move on. Number 5, Aljamain Sterling. Bit of a controversial one, putting him closer to number 1 than Adesanya, but this is purely just because he hasn't lost recently and he hasn't lost as champion, so that's why he's here. He's beaten all his contenders. Has he got very lucky in who he's fought? I mean, he fought a one-armed Dillashaw, that was good lucky. Now really beat Jan on the scorecards, pretty lucky. And then to be fair, he did beat Cejudo fair and square, so I can't really give him too much hate for that. But he's gone out, he's won matches, and he's on. I think he's got 3 defenses now, so that's why he's there. He's getting the records up, and fair play to him. Is he extremely cringe? Yeah, he definitely be number one cringe for cringe fighter on this list. We move on. Number 4, John Jones. He's listed as UFC's number 1, and I kind of get it, but at the same time, I kind of don't because he hasn't fought in 3 years, and then he came back and beat Cyril Gane. But Cyril Gane's wrestling isn't good. We kind of thought it would have improved since the Ngannou fight, but it turns out maybe he wasn't lying when he said he did no wrestling training. But I think I would move him up in the future when he fights again for his retirement fight, I presume. But I'm not going to give him number 1 like the UFC had just for beating Cyril Gane. You know what I mean? He needs to do more than that. He needs to prove himself a little bit more heavyweight. I'm not doubting his ability. I'm just saying I know what he can do, and obviously he can do more than that. So we'll see. But for now, he's number 4. I don't think he warrants number 1 immediately after winning one fight at heavyweight. I know he's the champion, but Cyril Gane, he can't wrestle. We move on. Number 3, Leon Edwards. I mean, what else is there to say? Leon's. I think he's very underrated. I think a lot of people forget how good he is. Obviously knocked out Usman. Very, very, very dominant champion. Finished a lot of good contenders at the time, and he beat him in the second fight, the first title fight, and he beat him convincingly in the rematch too. So he showed evolution as a fighter. He's doing well. He's on a very lot. I think he's on a 11 fight win streak now. And that's why he's there. Very impressive fighter, showing improvements every time he fights. And I'm pretty sure he'll win his next fight against Kobe Covington if that happens. So that's why he's there. Long win streak, active, constantly showing improvement, and he's fighting the best competition because Usman was the best welterweight until he beat him. We move on. Number 2, Alexander Volkanovski. Now, it's hard to decide who's the best. I'm just going to put number 1 here now as well. So obviously it's Islam Makhachev. So number 2 and number 1, it's hard to determine who is the best. It all depends on who won the fight between them. But Islam won. Okay, he won. The judges gave him that win. I can see how they gave him it. I can also see the Volk one. But to be honest, I think Islam did win one more round than Volk, so I think that's fair. And I think that settles it. But to be fair, Volk's going number 2, and no, we're not moving him down because to do that well against someone who's clearly got a size difference, this is pound for pound. If he was pound for pound the exact same as Makhachev in that fight, he might have beat him because he would have been bigger and stronger than he already was. So that's why Volk's there. Obviously, maybe the featherweight goat soon. Well, he probably is the featherweight goat now. Yeah, he is, and I think he beat basically more or less every other lightweight, excluding a few. And that's why Islam Makhachev is at the top of this list. Obviously, the most dominant lightweight right now. He beat Charles Oliveira, who was the man to beat. No one could beat him. He was finishing everybody, and then Islam finished him, destroyed the long fight streak, and he recently just beat Volk. So he's been doing well. He basically dominates every fight. The only fight he hasn't dominated so far is the Volk fight. And the Sorokin fight was pretty close, but yeah, showing improvements on the feet, good striking. Obviously, dropped Charles Oliveira, and that's it. That's my tier list, guys. Sorry, my rankings, guys. So yeah, I just want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the pound for pound list. Let me know what changes you'd make to it in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, like it. Don't forget to subscribe because obviously I do content like this every single day and live streams. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.